friend Tara coming to you with your very first guitar lesson. Now before you even play your guitar, you're gonna wanna learn how to tune it. I have a video I linked down in the description breaking all that down for you. So if you don't know how to tune your guitar, check that out first. But let's say your guitar's in tune, you've learned all your string names, and you're ready to get playing. You get your guitar. How do you hold it? What do you do with this thing? If you're a classical musician, you'll get real up close and personal with your guitar, rest it on your left leg, and play like so. But I am not a classical musician. Not that there's anything wrong with classical music. It is a great way to learn your technique, and we will be learning a few classical songs in this guitar course. But we're gonna learn punk, we're gonna learn rock and roll, we're gonna learn pop music, stuff we like to listen to. So in that case, you're just gonna set your guitar on your right leg, bring your right arm around, strum in hand, and your left hand is gonna go underneath. Notice how my thumb is behind the guitar and the rest of my fingers are in front. And you should pretty well be able to balance your guitar on your leg. I see a lot of people tip their guitar back so they can see their strings and they can see their hand. And I don't have a problem with you doing that, but find your fingers and then tilt your guitar up where it needs to be, nice and straight. So today we're gonna learn two different chords, very popular chords, and they are the E minor and the A major. I don't want to spend too much time learning about the actual guitar itself. I want to start rocking out with you guys. I want to start playing chords right away. But I am going to give you a few terms so you know what I'm talking about when I refer to certain parts of the guitars. We've got a body, a long neck, and we have the headstock. And then on here, we talked about this in our tuning video, we have the tuners. Tuning pegs, tuning keys. And then the two things we're going to focus on in today's video are the strings and the frets. So as you can see, there's little metal bars on your guitar. And in between the metal bars is what we call a fret. So fret 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Most guitars also have dots on fret 3, fret 5, 7, 9, and 12. Not all guitars, but most guitars. So if I want you to play fret 7, instead of counting up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you can go 3, 5, 7, or just memorize the third dot is your 7th fret. So your guitar is basically a game of Battleship. So for instance, if I said B4 on the game of Battleship, you would go down to the letter B and over to the number 4. It's the same thing on guitar. So we have 6 different strings. I teach them in detail in my How to Tune Your Guitar video, so check that out if you'd like. But just to review, they are E, A, D, G, B, and E. Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Or elephants and dogs grow big ears. So let's play a little game of Battleship. On your guitar, try and find E3. Let's say E3. So you're gonna find your E string and you're gonna go up 1, 2, 3. And if you'll notice, I'm not pressing on top of the little metal bar. That's gonna make your string muted and oftentimes it'll squeak. So you wanna press in the center of the fret to get a nice clear tone. All right, so let's try another string. See if you can find A7. So you'll go Eddie, 8. So you know your second string down is your A, and you can count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And remember we talked about earlier how your third dot is your 7th fret. So eventually you'll have that memorized and you'll easily be able to find A7 right there. So now you know your string names and you know your fret numbers. Now you just need to know your finger numbers. Now in piano, your thumb is your 1. So it's a little confusing going back and forth because in guitar, your pointer finger is your 1, middle is your 2, ring is your 3, and pinky is your 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're gonna take our pointer finger and see if you can find A2. So A is our second string down and fret 1, 2. So we've got our pointer finger, or our 1, is on A2. Now we're gonna take our middle finger, or our 2, and put it right below our 1. We're gonna put it on D2. So find your third string down, 1, 2, 3, find fret 2, and just like that, you've got your first chord. Sometimes I'll say make a peace sign, and that's easy to find that chord right there because you use these 2 fingers. With kids, I ask them to show me their bunny ears fingers, and then they can easily find that chord as well. So remember, you're skipping your top string. We're just on the A string, second string down, and the D string, third string down. Now what you wanna do is press those 2 fingers against your thumb. I call it squishing the jelly bean. You wanna press your thumb towards your pointer and your middle finger. So again, let's place our fingers on and then squish the jelly bean. Press your thumb against your fingers. Now in your right hand, you're gonna hold your pick. What I like to do is have people with their left hand hold the pointy end of the pick in their left hand. Then you're gonna line up your wrists and grab the pick with your pointer and your thumb. So again, hold the point in your left hand. And then line up your wrist, and then you're just gonna grab it in your right hand. And that should be the position of your pick. You don't want to hold your pick like this because you don't want to do gymnastics with your wrist to be able to play the guitar. And if your pick falls in your guitar, you're not the only one. Okay, we've got our pick, we've got our E minor chord, and we're ready to play. So let's try and just strum this E minor chord. Does yours sound like that? If it does, high five to you, that's amazing. If it doesn't, you are not alone. Guitar is a little tricky at first, so be very patient with yourself. Give yourself a couple months to get the chords down. On piano, you find your hand position, you press the notes, and it sounds beautiful. You're ready to go. On guitar, however, it takes a little more coordination to make the sound. So maybe this is what you're hearing when you strum. If your strings aren't ringing out and they're sounding a little muted, it could be that you're not squishing that jelly bean hard enough. It could also be that you're too close to the metal bar right here. So you want to be right in the center of the fret and you really want to press hard. Also, if this middle finger is accidentally touching the string below, listen what happens to that string. It's muted, so you want to make sure you're not touching any other string except for those two strings, the A string and the D string. Also, if your nails are too long, it'll be hard to press hard enough, so make sure your nails are clipped to a shorter length. One thing that's going to help with your tone as well is practice. The more you practice, the quicker you are to get calluses on your fingers. It's kind of like when you go to the monkey bars and you get those calluses on your hand. It hurts the first time, maybe the second time, but after a while it doesn't hurt anymore because you have that nice thick skin right there. Lovely thick skin. Yes, that's what we want. But that's going to make your fingers a little more firm and make it easier for you to press down the strings. You don't want to strum too hard on your guitar. You can just kind of do a nice light strum. I've noticed when sometimes people aren't pressing hard enough here, they try and strum louder to make up for it. And it ends up sounding like that. Sounds something like that. It's not pleasant. So make sure you're pressing really hard with your left hand, squishing that jelly bean. And you don't want to loosen this enough to lose your pick, but you do want a nice gentle hold on your pick. It also helps in the beginning if you get a little bit of a softer pick. So you might want to try that out. Now, right now I'm playing steady quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are called down strums. So you're strumming down toward the ground. Well, now let's try adding some up strums. You ready to soup it up a little bit? So we're gonna go down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, down. All right, so that's your E minor chord. Now I'm going to teach you a chord that's very, very similar to E minor. It's really easy to find from the position of E minor. So let's go back there, find your fingers. Here's your E minor. Now we're going to find our A major chord. And all you have to do is move both of your fingers down one string. So instead of being on the A, D, the 8 dynamite strings, you're going to be on the D and G, okay? Move it down. Once you get that down, I'm going to show you how to play the true A chord, because this is actually an A sus chord. So from your E minor, you're going to move both your fingers down, but you're also going to add your ring finger right below your middle finger. So there's going to be 3 fingers in the row. They're all in fret number 2. So if you line them up, they go 1, 2, and 3, all in a row. And same rules apply. Make sure you squish the jelly bean. Make sure you're not accidentally touching any other strings. Press nice and hard, and there you have your A chord. Now that you have your A chord down, we're going to try incorporating some rhythms. So we're going to do 8 beats on E minor and 8 beats on A major. In music, the majority of songs are 4 beats in each measure. So we're going to be doing sets of 4. We're going to be doing 8 beats on each chord, but we're going to count them in 4s. I'll show you what I mean. So we're on our E minor, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, video series, I'm going to teach you all the main chords that you need to know to be able to play millions and millions of pop and rock songs. Now let's take a look at the right hand. You can do a bunch of different things with your right hand. So the E minor chord is pretty simple, right? But you can soup up your song quite a bit with your right hand. So you can strum like we were doing before. You can individually pick strings with your pick. Now, if you want to try that pattern, what you're going to do is play the top string, you're going to skip the A, and then play the other 4 strings below it. So it's E, D, G, B, E. Now, when you're going down the guitar, you're going to strum down. When you're coming up the guitar, you're going to strum up. So when you're going down, you're strumming on the bottom of the pick. When you're coming up, you're strumming on the top. So we've got down strum, down, 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 up, 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 up. Instead of doing down strums the whole time. This is really tricky at first, but it's a really good exercise to isolate these strings and be able to play them individually. You can also practice finger picking. We're gonna pluck the same strings, but we're gonna use different fingers to do so. So we're gonna do thumb, thumb, and then 1, 2, 3. So thumb, thumb, 1, 2, 3. Thumb, thumb, 1, 2, 3. Now I'll do it a little bit slower for you. Thumb, thumb, 1, 2, 3, and back down. Something that helps me when I'm finger picking is to plant your pinky on the body of your guitar. That way your fingers don't slide around a ton. You can kind of stay in the same spot. So if my finger is always touching the same spot on the guitar, it makes it a little easier for me to find which strings my fingers are supposed to be on. So depending on what you're doing with your right hand, you can make that E minor chord sound completely different. We're gonna learn all sorts of different strum patterns in a later video. I just wanted to give you those 3 today to practice, but really make sure you're working on your E minor and your A major chord. So if all that is way too complicated for you, just start with counting 8 beats or 2 sets of 4 beats on each chord. So these first several lessons, we are just learning the chords. Let's get our chords down and then we'll get to the fun stuff, I promise. I also teach piano, ukulele, and songwriting tutorials. If there's anything specific you would like to learn, let me know down in the comments. And make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss your next lesson. We'll see you next time.